Hello, my name is Howard, and I first want to say that it is an absolute honor to be speaking on a social work profession with you all today. I want to start off today by talking about some of the contributions I worked on and made in the social work field during my time practicing. I started my journey off by attending the University of Minnesota, and soon after graduating, I started to attend the University of Case Western Reserve in Cleveland, Ohio. It was here where I met my amazing wife, who was also attending this school and had aspirations of being a social worker as well. Of course, we didn't always see eye to eye because her focus was more on the macro level and meso level, and mine was on the macro level. Somehow, we still survived and made it through and married soon after college. After graduating, I had the amazing idea to go to Michigan where I started to plant trees. It's a long story, and maybe we can talk about it another day, but back to social work. I soon realized I needed to do more with my education, so my wife and I were sent to the Virgin Islands by the government to continue practicing social work. While in the Virgin Islands, we had the opportunity to help and make a major difference in the country, but we often felt that it was time for us to go home. So, upon moving back to the States, I found a job in Houston working as the director of the Community Service Council. From Houston, I moved to Indianapolis, working in the same position, focusing on improving poverty and housing in the urban area. It was in this position that I continued to grow and find myself advocating for change, not just in the community, but at a national level as well. I learned that my passion was working towards systematical change for all those oppressed. From that time on, I almost always did all of my work at the macro level practice, working to change systematic oppression that has been consuming communities for generations. Soon after, I became more involved in the Indianapolis time working with the NASW. In 1957, I was appointed to the board of directors and worked in the capacity until becoming the vice president in 1962. During that time, I was also the chair of the Committee on National Regulations, giving me an opportunity to advocate for change in the national level, as well as holding numerous committee assignments in the Central Indiana chapter, which I belonged. In 1965, I was elected as the sixth president of the NASW. During my inaugural address, I thought it was important to advocate for change, saying, "We expect as social workers to give a good account for ourselves and such effort and to lead the way in making adaptations and innovations." During my time as NASW president, I was a contributing member of the formation of the Office of Equal Opportunity Community Action Against Poverty in Indianapolis. I was noted as being a powerful advocate for social work cooperation on the war of poverty during that time. In 1965, I decided to participate in the Freedom March in Montgomery, Alabama. My thoughts on the trip were documented as such. On the way back home, I tried to analyze what the civil rights struggle means to our association. I was wondering whether social workers and the NASW in particular are really prepared to act on social issues in our own communities and in their own agency. This is what I've been thinking about since returning from Montgomery. The NASW celebrated the 10th anniversary during my time as president in 1965. I had this to say about the association that night. As an association, we have reached an important milestone. In these first 10 years, we have witnessed a spectacular growth in number. What is most satisfying, however, is the rich and varied program that have evolved through which we strive to further and responsible progress develop. In 1966, I attended the NASW Social Action Seminar in Chicago. Sadly, it was in Chicago where my story of social work and advocating ended. So one reason I decided